think it's very important that we use our vote all over the world, and actually in some countries in the world, if you don't vote, you're fined for not voting.
And it's funny, whenever people are told that they can vote, they don't want to, but as soon as they're told they can't, they do want to vote.
It's an inbuilt human nature for people to have a right to do something. When you take that right away from somebody, or when you exclude somebody from that right, it's an inbuilt reaction that all of a sudden you fight to be part of that.
I was always brought up that you have to use your vote, you never waste your vote. Listening to the older generations, they're especially, they really want to use their vote, because for a long time, say women, they couldn't vote. And I know in Derry with the civil rights, there was an awful lot of people who were told that they couldn't vote.
30, 40 odd years ago, people had to fight and protest and march for the right to vote. For one man to get one vote, and they all wanted to be, everybody wanted to be equal.
Well, in Northern Ireland, people actually had to go out in the streets for civil rights. They protested. They just stood up for what they believed in.
People felt they were being discriminated against by not having a vote, and I don't think at this day and age anyone would be opposed to that, although there was a time maybe there were some were opposed to it.
I would see voting as a duty, something which people a generation ago fought to get. People died to get it, and I think for us not to use it now is verging on being criminal.
It's very important to me to have the right to vote, because there's been lots of people who have died for the right to vote, and it's the only way here in Northern Ireland that we can exert change.
Voting's important no matter what country you come from. It's particularly important here in the 6 counties, given the history of where we've come from in relation to voting and voting patterns. We have had a history whereby there was gerrymandering, which meant that a certain section of the community, mainly the nationalist and Republican community, couldn't represent the people from their areas.
When you look back how hard it was to get a vote back then, what people went through to try and get a vote, and now we have it for nothing.
Now we in Northern Ireland especially had to fight very hard for a vote, because votes were not given to everybody. If you owned property, if you owned houses, then you had votes. And I mean, they were the people who had all the votes. We were the second-class citizens. So this is why we went out and fought for one man, one vote, so that every person over the age of 18 years of age would have a vote. I think it is so important that they use it.
I think people fought for what they thought was right, although maybe some people have lost their lives by getting that. But I think it was important that we have a bit of equality and everyone has a right to vote.
It's a human right that people have the right to vote, and thank God the days are gone when some could vote and some couldn't vote.
We all have the right to vote. If you're over 18, you have the right to vote for whoever you want, whether it be any party or whether you decide to stand for election yourself. You have the power to decide who's governed over you and who's going to represent you on a global scale, and that's the most important thing.
Having seen how things were in the 60s, I took the right to vote very seriously, and when I turned 17, I'm definitely going to register to vote.
Because young people should be encouraged to vote. They'll be the people of the future. Why can't we exercise our right to vote and have a say in the running of our country and the future of our children and grandchildren?